It begins again. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Pundits podcast. Or as like I normally say, since somebody didn't like my greetings and salutations, what's good? It's time for another episode.
It is.
What are we going to talk about today?
What do we talk about every night, Pinky?
How to take over the world through a podcast?
Yes.
Okay,
And originally, the plan was to talk about Game of Thrones Season 7.
Are we going to do that today?
We're going to do that. It's going to finish up our recap.
And then, what are you going to do this Sunday?
This Sunday, I don't have any plans. I'm just going to, sit around, hang out.
Oh, okay, so you're not going to watch anything on TV?
Maybe episode 1 of Season 8.
So you're finally here. Are you really honestly amped for it?
I am more depressed.
Why?
What am I going to do with my life?
Yeah, so I was wondering what people are going to do. I've been waiting to see what the next big thing is going to be post.
Do you remember how long it was for in between Sopranos and Game of Thrones?
How much time actually passed?
Not much.
Because
A couple years, maybe.
Maybe
not. Yeah, I think it ended in 2008, and Game of Thrones picked up in 2010.
Maybe.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see what actually is going to take the place. There's a lot of things contending for it. We got a couple of years before Lord of the Rings. There's still the whole Wheel of Time situation coming out. We have Starship Troopers.
We just talked about, yeah.
So I don't know exactly what we're going to get next.
We got another slew of Marvel things going to be on the Disney thing eventually.
That's not until the end of the year. So we're going to be going from the end of this.
It's going to be just like 2018. Nothing on television.
Basically. I'm really wondering to see what exactly HBO is going to follow this with, because they're going to have a huge gap.
It's that simple. They've already covered that.
Huh.
The prequels of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but there's still going to be a huge chunk of time before that's going on, because
they're already filming one of them, from what I've heard.
That's what you've heard?
They're already starting pre-production on one, not filming, but they've already started pre-production on whatever one they're doing, which supposedly is The Long Night.
Oh, wow.
Like the original First Men versus Children of the Forest turns into
this could be
the White
interesting.
Walkers. So none of the characters, you're going back thousands of years.
That could be interesting.
House Stark isn't a thing. Lannisters are not there.
Like I said, this could be really interesting.
Do you realize that means there's only two of the families technically?
Which families were those?
Well, Bran the Builder, of course, which was House Stark, but he was not House Stark at the time.
Mm. And then?
Green, which would also be Tyrell.
Wow.
Garth Greenhand, who was the...
you were just getting so deep into this, man.
The First Man, the king of the First Men.
That's deep. But before we get knee-deep into Game of Thrones, current news I just recently heard of. They finished up their principal photography for the King Kong movie that's coming out March of 2020.
Oh.
So that means that, now I don't know if the shooting is done, but at least the stuff they're doing in Australia, they are really moving forward with this. So we're going to end up having Godzilla and King Kong meet. Now, they didn't say they were fighting. This isn't going to be like the Batman v Superman where it's like, hey, these two people are going to fight.
But what else are they going to do? Let's be real.
They could be fighting other things.
That's true.
Because there's still like a good 12 different other, if you want to use their terms, kaiju that they could bring into this. Yes, that means your boy could show up.
Yeah.
Gamera.
I just thought about that.
Gamera could still show up. We haven't even gotten into if the humans decide to build a mecha of something. Imagine what we're getting into.
Ultraman.
Well, Ultraman recently just put out something on Netflix. It's interesting to see it done in that style of animation. I've not finished it yet, but it was very...
What was that one in the computer world?
Which one?
In the 90s.
Oh, you're going that Ultraman?
Yeah. What was that, Ultraman?
I think it was.
It looked like Ultraman. That's why I was like, is that Ultraman?
Yeah.
They went to the computer?
Yeah, they've tried to do this several different times.
Yeah.
To try to bring Ultraman
but imagine
back.
Ultraman versus Godzilla.
I don't think we're going to go that far, because from what rumor has it, after the King Kong meets Godzilla situation, minus the Godzilla meets Bambi situation, I think we're done with the Godzilla line as far as they're going to push it. I think that is the reason why there's
Godzilla meets Bambi?
Trust me, you've been seen that before.
No.
It was the first time I saw it.
Did he step on his mother?
No, worse. He just stepped on Bambi.
Oh,
I'll ruin the whole thing, but it's the way it was done. It came out it was the last of the Toho Godzillas that came out during the early 90s before they tried to give their rights to America, and we horribly did bad things.
Well, you know what the problem with that was?
Okay,
three
please.
problems with that film.
Matthew Broderick, Godzilla being a girl, like a blatant rip-off girl.
Who cares about that?
I do.
You do, but I mean, that's sexist.
Sexist towards
Yeah, you can't accept a female lizard.
female kaiju. Yeah, that's
Can't accept the big. Well, the fact that he was an iguana bothered me.
yeah, that's my other thing.
But so that's number 2 is that he was an iguana. The third thing was Puff Daddy.
And that song.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just that "Come With Me" song. I still have nightmares of Jimmy Page and Puff Daddy teaming up.
That should never have happened. That was a big no-no, a huge no-no. All right, so I've talked about other things, man. I mean, I can go on and on about Godzilla. I'm really amped for this one.
I blame that on Suge Knight too.
You blame Godzilla on Suge Knight. I want to see how you're going to connect Godzilla and Suge Knight.
Well, if the rumors are true,
okay,
and the Suge Knight was the one that put the hit out on Biggie, which
I'm starting to see how
Biggie's death caused Puff Daddy to start rapping.
Yeah. We won't stop.
Right. So had he never started rapping because he was too busy producing Biggie,
yeah,
he wouldn't have done the Jimmy Page song.
Bad
which
boy.
means there wouldn't have been anybody to push that Godzilla film.
Won't stop.
So it's all Suge Knight's fault.
All right, I'm done with that.
Thank you.
Hey, as long as you were continue talking about how this was going to connect to Godzilla, I was going to continue doing my whole
Suge
Puffy
Knight's
thing.
fault.
Wow, that's sad. That's amazing how you just connected that into it. I'm going to let that one go. So that's going to stop me. But there is a movie coming out this weekend. Hellboy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, no, I'm excited. I'm just containing it.
Oh, you're containing it because you're saving all of your energy for when I let you loose on season 7.
No, so I have to pick a premiere this weekend.
Okay.
I'm not going to be too excited about Hellboy.
Okay, explain to me why not.
I only have so much time.
Okay, I can understand the timing.
I only have so much. I've got a lot to do this weekend. I only have so much time, so I can't be excited about Hellboy on a weekend that I'm really busy because I'm going to want to go see Hellboy. I can't.
Okay.
I don't have time.
Okay.
And the time I would have would be Sunday night,
which
I would be watching Game of Thrones
just
season 8.
Give up on the Game of Thrones thing. It'll
be
there.
This is a decade of my life.
So I guess I've wasted enough of your time. It's like holding a
watching season 8 is the purpose. I have the same purpose for watching season 8 that I have for going to see Endgame.
Okay, just to say you've done it to finish.
Just so I can finish this stupid story, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love the story of Game of Thrones, and I don't really care for where they've gone in Marvel. But it's just still like I've been doing it so long. I might as well finish it.
You started this thing. You're going to finish this.
Right.
All right. So, like me holding the Christmas present above the little kid, and it is officially Christmas. I've held this off for long enough. You may go ahead and start your...
I don't have a rant. There's just a lot to cover for season 7.
Wow.
There's a lot happened.
No rant for this one. I mean, I really expected a rant for this one.
I don't have a rant for this. Unfortunately, the jury's still out on season 7, really. There was a lot of confusion, of course, with the time jumping and the how long did it take Gendry to get back to the wall?
It took them no time. There's a tram. You didn't know about the tram that the Lannisters built?
Well, there was not enough inclination as to how much time had passed. They just he showed up in spots like everybody had teleportation powers.
Right.
But let me turn this around, Alex.
Okay.
What was your favorite moment of season 7?
Quite easily seeing an ice dragon bust over the wall. I'm sorry.
The ending, that was it.
The ending was the only thing that held me for that was it was a long drag to, I want to see one thing. I'm tired of the buildup. I'm tired of waiting. Give me ice zombies, ice dragon, destroy the wall. We're coming through. The way they do the effects, it's something so different. Since we're going to kind of play this game, I'm going to lead this back and do something that we're kind of akin to. We've bonded over a lot of zombie films.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm sorry, I love my ice zombies. So, anytime that they're involved in an episode, I'm all for it.
You're going to love season 8 then.
That's the reason why I'm like, I will dig through all this crap right now to get to as much ice zombies because for once, it takes it back. There's so many projects that are currently out that are fast zombies or fast-moving plagued people.
Well, technically, they do run.
Not the way...
And they are fast.
They're fast. I'm not denying that they're not fast.
And they scale walls like World War Z.
Yes, but this one's a little bit more, it's visceral. You have these ice creatures, and it's not like, oh, I've been bit. I got like 3 days before something happened.
Yeah, it's not one of those things where you get bit, you go. It's if you die, this guy can race
you instantly. And that's where some of those scenes, the way that lore is broken down, I've enjoyed my ice zombies. I don't know exactly where we're going to go with this once we start getting further south. Does he have that much cold in him to bring all that ice?
That's what he...
I know,
that's
what he
literally the
does.
story of the Long Night.
I know, but does he have it? I mean, I want to see how far he can push this. I'm rooting for...
The Night King.
Yeah, I don't care about... I'm hoping everybody dies to the Night King.
I'm hoping that since they haven't really touched on it, except for Melisandre's little, like, you have a part to play, I'm hoping we see an Azor Ahai moment. I'm hoping the little clues throughout the series lead up to Jon Snow stabbing Melisandre in the heart and pulling... Because in the story of Azor Ahai,
go ahead, tell the Azor Ahai story.
Exposes her chest, and Azor Ahai shoves his sword through her heart and pulls out Lightbringer to fight. He brings the dawn.
He brings the dawn.
He takes away the Night King.
Which is where I was getting my whole thing of, I want to see how far they're going to push this. We have, how many episodes?
6.
To pull off
all of this in 6 episodes.
And that's the reason why I just want...
If this realistically, this battle has to they either have to defeat the Night King by the 3rd episode to get onto Cersei and the Golden Company in order for season 6 to episode 6 to be a wrap-up episode.
I want to see how they're going to pull it off.
I'm really afraid they're going to rush it. My favorite part.
I don't think they're going to rush it.
My favorite part of season 7.
Your favorite part of season 7. Go ahead.
Dothraki versus Lannister soldiers with Drogon.
That was kind of cute.
That was one of those watching Jaime and Bronn kind of crap their pants after hearing, because you got to think about what was going through their head. Your whole life you've been grown up hearing stories of these vicious savages from across the narrow sea, but everybody goes, don't worry, they'll never get on a boat. They've never gotten on a boat.
We'll never see them here.
You'll never see them here. All of a sudden you hear it. The rumbling. And then you the call, the battle call. And then all of a sudden you hear a dragon. And you're like, oh man, I thought all these things weren't real. Crap. They're all real. And to get the men to stand in a line like that, like, it showed those soldiers were at least disciplined.
Yes.
And then the balls on Tarly, dude.
He
was just like, I'm going to burn here. I'm not going to follow you. You're not my queen. You can't send me to the wall. Burn me. And his stupid son.
And I really didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah. I also enjoyed the reaction of the confession from Olenna Tyrell.
Okay. If there are terms right now that I have to use, that lady went out like a boss. Mm-hmm. There is no character death that was more baller than her death.
Yeah. Except for maybe Tywin talking crap to his son while sitting on a toilet.
No, she topped it. The old people, all right, I'll rephrase it. The old people in these things go out like bosses. I have not seen anyone. She talked smack literally
to the end.
Even when she was like, okay, it's time for me to die. I got to go.
By the way, I killed your son. Tell your lady. Tell your sister lady.
Bye. I was like, wow, that is one of the second best scenes out of the entire thing, because she just went out the way she came in. Her character was introduced with that wit and smack talking, and she brought it.
So there's one character we've never talked about. One of my favorite book characters.
Okay.
Euron Greyjoy.
Oh boy. We're getting into the Greyjoys. This is where I stopped talking because I really hated how they did the Greyjoys.
Okay, so we are on the same page.
Yeah, because I don't count these as the Greyjoys.
Well, this is what Victor, the uncle he was.
Right.
Was basically, I forget the name.
Viserion or something.
Viserion. Yeah, Theon in the books had an uncle who was a strategic battle commander who didn't ride the Silence. That was Euron's. Mm-hmm. But what we didn't get was the Euron Greyjoy from the books. The pirate, the quintessential pirate.
Like, we've missed out on that entire story, though.
Eye patch, Horn of Winter.
Yeah.
No, eye patch, Dragonhorn.
But we missed
everybody
out on
the ship has their tongue cut out because it's called the Silence. The bloodthirsty psychopath.
We've missed all that.
None of that. We got a comic character.
So to me, there's no Greyjoys.
Yeah.
You're talking about things that are great.
Theon's the only one that kind of rang through from the books.
Not even.
A whiny pissant.
Yeah, who becomes Reek. Wrong. So that's what I say.
He did in the books.
Let's remove.
Theon is the only thing that, technically Balon was pretty close to accurate.
Yeah.
Very hard on his son, very prideful, even though he is the reason his son was raised by Starks, still hated his son for being raised by Starks.
All that stuff is there.
Yara didn't even exist in the books.
No.
That was, God, what's his sister's name?
But the same situation. They did a character exchange, which I'm okay with, but they really have taken so much focus and so much of the lore and the history of the Greyjoys out
You
of
didn't
the
get
Game
the
of Thrones.
uncle who was a drowned man? Who was a big thing with Theon? Like,
Yes.
Like you don't get, there's a lot you don't get with the Greyjoys. But the biggest disappointment of the Greyjoys really was meeting Euron.
Yeah.
You saw Euron in season 6, and you're like, wow, that was really weak. Then you see Euron interact in season 7, going, yeah, that's a little closer, but he's like a Disney version of himself.
He's a side character, and they really didn't want to develop him.
Because, man, if you'd have had the psychotic... This is a character that makes Ramsay Bolton and Joffrey... to get, like, if you were to take both of them and fuse them and their actions into one person, Euron Greyjoy makes them look like a Disney film.
Yes, and
Like,
in
this is
exchange,
just
we
the
went through and
Got
the Disney version of him,
Yeah.
which is the reason why I say move on. Like, the Greyjoys don't really exist. They're
it upset me. That was my big complaint about season 7. Besides the time jumping and the plot armor, the mass amount of plot armor.
You don't like plot armor?
I don't like plot armor. So George R.R. Martin accustomed me to there is no such thing as plot armor for anybody other than Tyrion. That's your plot armor.
I still think that he may.
No, I don't think Tyrion. That's his favorite character.
One of mine also, but at the same time, it's still the rules of Game of Thrones.
If he wants to impress me, he'll kill him off in Winds of Winter.
We'll see.
Technically, he's with the Golden Company right now, anyway.
We don't know what's
He's
going
not a warrior.
He may. That would be the funniest thing.
If he
Frozen
becomes-
imp,
Oh man.
ice imp.
Well, the Golden Company's not about to go.
No, but
Go
still,
there yet.
I was just thinking that would be the funniest thing to be seen is
So Gendry.
the return.
Talk about Gendry.
You want to talk about the?
He stopped rowing.
Is this the return of the king now?
Technically, yeah, he is. If you look at it, because I was complaining about how Jon and Daenerys don't have a right to the throne.
Right.
Gendry does.
Yeah.
Granted, he's a bastard, so he doesn't have a claim. But if he gets legitimized, he is the immediate successor to the Iron Throne.
Which means now we're no longer in Game of Thrones. We're in Tolkien's world. We're gonna have a perfect Return of the King moment.
You know what? That would be the best, probably the best ending.
Really,
Gendry on the Iron Throne.
it would be a little lackluster.
Why? Because he spent 5 seasons rowing?
No, because who he's gonna want as his queen.
Arya? That's going to be amazing. You're going to have the assassin queen? Like, I would stay in line.
We've talked about this one already,
Yeah.
man.
No, Gendry, actually, I'd see more of a Gendry taking a common person as a wife than Arya. You got to
Okay.
remember the interaction between Arya and Gendry when he found out that she was highborn. He was very cold to her because he has a disdain for highborn. Because he's been every highborn person he's ever come across has sold him.
Yes, but if the
Except for
North,
Jon Snow.
if the North comes through the way they are always saying they're going to do, or by the hands of the little bear, I don't think it's going to be the same.
See, that would be an interesting thing. Like, let 10 years pass, let the little bear.
Oh,
So you
now,
have Lyanna
now
Mormont,
you got
Lyanna
something.
Mormont and Gendry.
Now you got me interested.
Then you have like Bear Island becomes the new King's Landing, the seat of the 7 Kingdoms.
I would be interested in that. I'm all down for that one. So,
Jorah would be proud.
where other things that you actually did like out of this
So I
season?
love Gendry coming back. I really do. The interaction between Varys and Melisandre was good.
I thought that was a long time coming, man.
Yeah, I mean those are the 2 creepiest people in Westeros finally getting together and her being like, I know all your secrets, and him being like, I hate you. And the interaction between Dany and Varys was really cool. I thought she accepted the idea of him being there way too quickly, and then all of a sudden she's like, okay, now that all that's calmed down, you betray everybody. Let's talk about this.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. She's sick of those pantsuits. The scene with Grey Worm and Melisandre was a little weird to me. I felt like that was completely unnecessary.
That was one of those moments where I go, they did that for the sake of, hey, we have a trend to follow.
Yeah, let's put a sex scene in here, but man, it was unnecessary because you know that it only went one way.
I'm not even going to comment on it, man. that it leaves.
He's a eunuch.
No comment. I don't even know why they had that scene, but they did.
Fan service.
Boy, was that ever fan service.
Oh yeah, that's all it was fan service. No, it's much like the I could have done without a Jon Snow Daenerys romance. It'd have been cool just to see them political allies.
That was that one I could say was coming up.
I mean, it makes sense. She marriage alliances, blah blah blah, but you already know that he's going to find out who his parentage is, and him being the honorable sort that he is, he's going to be like, oh, that's gross. And he's not going to want to do it. She's going to be like, but what's the problem? We've been doing this for centuries. He's going to be like, I haven't.
That's not the Stark
I may
way.
not know anything, but I know that. That's gross.
So, we should at least announce for those people who really haven't been keeping up and just don't know. He's a Targaryen. So
Jon Snow is the son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark, and not a bastard son. Rhaegar Targaryen had his marriage with Alaria Martell. Alaria Sand. Oh my God, I forgot the Martell's name. Either way, Lady Martell.
You forgot something. I'm
did.
impressed.
Lady Martell. That's a lot of information to carry for a character I never met before. Either way, his wife, who was a Martell, he divorced her to marry Lyanna Stark, and they popped out little Aegon Targaryen, who Ned Stark knew would be killed by Robert Baratheon. So he said, "Oh look, I got a bastard," and never told his wife.
That is one. You got to give props to
That's
Ned.
a keeping your promise. Like you're like, how did you? How he broke his honor? Like everybody talks about this. Like this is the most honorable person. Oh, she must have been quite a woman to get you to break her honor. The guy won't even keep his mouth shut when it'll save his life.
Yeah.
So it didn't add up. And then so you always knew that like he was a hidden thing. But where has Howland Reed been?
Oh.
I bet he makes a comeback in this season. You already met his children. So him being like, by the way, their story about your thing, that's true. You really are a Targaryen. I was there.
I was hanging out.
Yeah, now that I know you're here and everybody's here, I can tell you because your dad's dead. I've been waiting 7 years or however long this has been, really, because it's been a lot longer than 7 years in the show.
To tell you one thing.
Yeah, your daddy is not your daddy.
So it's going to turn into Maury Povich. Got it.
But it makes all the more irony in the line that Gendry said to Jon Snow. Our fathers trusted each other. When realistically, their fathers fought on a field, and Gendry's dad killed Jon Snow's dad. Mm-hmm. Hey, Gendry really can't say, my dad can beat up yours, because he did.
But the sad part is, everything you're talking about and all these different speculations, all these different directions you could go in, 6 episodes.
Yeah, see,
pull this off.
And 6 episodes, 4 fake scripts.
No, you've been one of those people, huh?
Yeah. No, it's not what they released. They said they wrote 4 fake ones, and they put them just in case they got hacked like last year. Mm-hmm. That they,
there's no way.
There's a chance that you're not getting the real one. And people didn't get paper scripts of the season. They got them on tablets, which is insane if you think about it. And then, according to the interviews, when they were done reading these things on season 8, it erased. So once you read your lines, that was it.
As you're reading your lines, it's just slowly disappearing.
No.
Hey, I think it works.
I hope so. I hope nobody forgot their lines.
My big thing that comes down to it is it's amazing how far we've have to push ourselves in the world of media to keep things just quiet.
It's like everybody wants to know spoilers. Everybody wants to know what happens before, what happened to suspense, man.
What happened to walking into it blindfolded and just...
It used to be so much more enjoyable. Like, if you told me at the beginning of Jurassic Park that Alan Grant lives, and so does everybody else, basically, except for a few minor characters, I wouldn't have wanted to see Jurassic Park. You just gave it away for me.
Yeah.
But I sat down and I watched Jurassic Park, and then I enjoyed the whole film so I could rewatch it again, even though I know what's coming. Reading the spoilers and reading the scripts and things, it doesn't, unless you read the script and you're like, wow, that sounds like a really good story, and then you want to watch it to see how they visually adapted it, or you know it from the books. But to go and just say, oh, I'm going to read these spoilers so I can see what happens, why not just watch it for yourself? Why not just wait? It's like the guys that did it last year. They released, or for season 7, they released the episodes before the episodes came out.
Right.
Which is a complete dick move. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely just the worst thing you can do. Like, why do that? What purpose does it serve you? This show has been made and loved by its audience, right? It's not even like...
But after a certain point, I'm going to play the devil's advocate on this just for a moment. There are those of us who had the spoilers for a while.
The books.
They're called books.
Yeah, but that's different because the show's different, especially with season 7.
Yeah, at this point, I don't really...
By season 5, they were deviating so hard that it was unbelievable.
Season 2.
Well, they weren't deviating that hard in season 2. There was just a lot of storylines that went the other direction.
They turned on the 4x4 at that point. They were hinting that they're going to go off-roading.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
And they went off hard.
But
yeah.
Hey, that's that. So
what was your least favorite part of season 7?
Season 7? Mm-hmm. No, that was my answer.
No, but what was your least favorite part?
That honestly was it. Until we got up to...
Yeah, so you just didn't like anything about season 7?
Season 7 was not one of my favorite.
It was rushed. It was clumsy.
I felt like I could have watched that in a week and it had been perfectly fun. I didn't
That's
have to
honestly
wait
how I
week
feel
week.
like. That's honestly how I feel like this is going to go here with season 8. That's my big
Especially, that's the reason why I'm not, as much as you're amped for it, I'm like, I'm going to go see Hellboy this weekend. I'm going to finish Ultraman this weekend. I'm going to watch the episode, and we're going to talk about it and wait the entire week, and then let that kind of simmer down and not have any spoiler talk. That's what we're going to kind of avoid. But I enjoy the world. It's entertainment.
We'll release our spoilers on Friday.
Okay.
So we'll do spoiler talk so we can cover it, but we're going to give it like almost a week before we do it.
I'm fine with that also. My whole thing is I was not a huge fan of the way... It was the pacing. The pacing was horrible in Season 7, which made it hard to watch straight through. And if you did watch it straight through, you end up with this huge level of fatigue. So I'm going, that's not the way you want to watch an entire series. And as it progressed to getting faster and faster and faster, my interest started waning. And to me, that's where I go, you have to come through correct for Season 8. Regain my love for the Lord. Regain my interest. But I'm already saying you're going uphill. You're, in the words of Blade, you're trying to ice skate uphill. It's not going to happen. I don't think they can pull it off.
I hope so. But
I hope they do. But I mean...
my biggest worry is that they're going to try to rush through this. And this is the most important season not to rush.
Which is where I get into, as a fan of the books, the books get bigger. Now, if they went with the other direction of Season 1 was only 6 episodes, Season 2 was 8 episodes, and we were getting more episodes as this continued on, much like the books were getting bigger and bigger,
yeah,
I would say, okay, we're really going to get Season 8. Right now, I feel like we're just getting, hey, we're going to finish this because we have other things we have to do. We got the Star Wars things that we're supposed to be working on. We're going to do the prequel thing that we're going to be working on. Let's just get through it because people want it. Not...
Are Dan and Dave doing anything with Star Wars?
Oh, yes.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. That's where we're going to next. That's the next...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, no, but...
Season 7 is ranked number 7 as well on my seasons ranking. Like, it is the worst season.
That's the reason why I'm like, when you're like, what's the worst part?
But it wasn't, like, the whole season wasn't terrible. It's just...
No, there were
I'd
points
say
of...
the worst part of the season...
Was the pacing.
Well, no, we already covered that it was bad. I'm saying the worst scene. For me, the scene that I just thought was the dumbest thing, it was the entire storyline between Sam and the Citadel. It was a giant waste of time. Sure, we got some solid exposition.
I will have to agree with you on that.
But what purpose did that solve? Where he was just able to walk out with those books? He was just able to walk out of the Citadel with those books. All those maesters.
Nobody was caring about that.
Right. But this is the place where you keep all the knowledge of the Seven Kingdoms for history. And this guy was just able to walk out. They have a strict rule against no women and children there. But he was able to keep one as an acolyte. And he's a man of the Night's Watch. How did nobody try to behead him for having a woman and kid with him? Like, you have got... It's...
I'm not...
Like, sure, Jon Snow can pardon him now because he's king. And he can be like, you don't need to be... You're not on the watch anymore. I release you. But... It's just, there's a lot of things, and it's just so Sam, literally he went there so he could stumble across how to cure Jorah's grayscale. He was the plot device.
Right.
Cure Jorah's grayscale, find out about the glass, the dragon glass, find out about Jon's parentage. Maybe figure out how to forge dragon glass into Valyrian steel using dragon glass, steel, and dragon fire.
Maybe.
I bet that happens.
Is that your... You know, every single time a bet comes up on our show, bad things normally go the other direction.
We're not going to bet anything substantial here. I'm not going to watch A Christmas Story. I'm saying that I'm calling it now. Gendry is going to learn how to forge Valyrian steel.
I bet it's going to be an accident. He'll be just doing something.
It'll be dragon fire, dragon glass, and steel, and that's going to be how to do it. You know what also upsets me? They didn't cover the glass candles.
Wow. You know what?
No, there was nothing of that story at all with anything. And we were at the Citadel. We could have seen it. The Archmaester was denying the existence of the others.
Yeah.
The Archmaester in the book, it would not have denied the existence of the others.
Yeah. That's what.
It was cool to see the guy from Harry Potter there, though. That's 2. Maybe more for Harry Potter.
Yeah.
At least 2. Felch and Slughorn.
So that's basically it. You've given your ranking of the past 7 seasons.
Yeah. 1 is still the best.
Yeah, 1. Almost in order for me.
I'd say that it goes 1, 6, 3, 2, 5, 7.
I can agree with that. So, this is the last episode we have before we get into our Game of Thrones weeklies. And if you have anything you want to bring up, any questions, comments, or you just want to talk about it, or you're just tired of hearing about Game of Thrones and want to hear about what I watched this weekend, like The Highwaymen or Hellboy, hit us up on Twitter.
Hellboy will be on the Geek Out. Or we can't call it the Geek Out anymore.
Nope, there's no more Geek Out.
Right.
They'll just be on the show.
Yeah.
I'll just talk about it on the show. And there's legal reasons for the whole no Geek Out situation. So for anyone who's asked, like, why aren't you doing the Geek Out? Because
somebody else did the Geek Out before
somebody
us.
else did before us. So
We've never done the Geek Out.
What Geek Out?
Allegedly.
Alleged Geek Out.
Ain't no Geek Out.
I've never geeked
Shut
out.
up. You ain't geeking out.
Anyways, hit us up on Twitter at The Real Pundits, The Real Pundits. And you can also hit us up at the mailbag at therealpundits.com. Give us a shout. And we're also posting all this stuff up on Facebook. Hey, respond there. If not, we're going to continue doing what we're doing. And every step closer is getting to...
Should make Dr. Doom our mascot.
He is a mascot.
No, we should make a Dr. Doom
mascot. Put him in red and black or something?
Yeah.
I'll work on that.
Just paint a Dr. Doom with our...
our logo on him?
Yeah.
I think that would be sacrilege for me. So, moving on.
It's rude.
Either way, a lot of good things coming out in the future, so we'll be talking about those. And check us out. On that note, bye.